On Stage is welcoming, all the way from San Francisco, California, Corinne West and the Posse. They'll be featuring many songs off their new CD, Second Sight. I know you're going to enjoy them, so let's get picking. Bluegrass is on stage.
Standing on the East Coast, looking back upon the West Coast, thinking just how far I came. All those miles of rails and rust and all the things that turned to dust, well, I guess I'm just the same. Sun on water, sun on wine, spaces in between the lines. Speak to me of the glory, the muse, she's waiting on the line. Are you ready, honey, are you singing of the fortune we can find? So this is for you, it's your time. Stabilize, we're going deeper. Time. All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, and. righty. Well, the next song that we'd like to share with you is a song that comes out of the Feather River Country in California. This one's called Amelia. Amelia has a way about her, dearest loving daddy's daughter. Oh, 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 Amelia. She's always been a clever child. She's somewhere on the other side of wild. Don't get cold, don't get lost, Amelia. Amelia warms the shakes and the shivers out of the miners on the Feather River looking for gold. Fill her purse, it's a lusty life, it's a miner's curse. Said Amelia has a way about her, dearest loving daddy's daughter. Oh, 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 Amelia. Amelia came here as a girl. She was shining like sunlight on her wisdom's pearl. And oh, oh, she was such a lovely sight. A miner's life is a mighty hard life, with too much cold and a red-headed wife. But oh, she was such a lovely sight. Amelia warms the shakes and the shivers out of the miners on the Feather River looking for gold. Fill her purse, that's a lusty life, it's a miner's curse. Oh, oh. Amelia warms the shakes and the shivers out of the miners on the Feather River looking for gold. Fill her purse, it's a lusty life, it's a miner's curse. Said Amelia didn't stay that long, she was still a girl when she left town. My, 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 what a sight. She still had her wits about her, all the gold the ruby lips had bought her. The rich bar boys, they're pining for Amelia. Amelia warms the shakes and the shivers out of the miners on the Feather River looking for gold. Fill her purse, it's a lusty life, it's a miner's curse. Said Amelia has a way about her, dearest loving daddy's daughter. Oh, 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 Amelia. Oh, hey, hey. All right. I was moving on forward, like silver in the middle of the night. I was after a good thing that I lost without a fight. Slipped through a hole in my pocket, did you fall through a crack in my hand? Opened up my front door, there was only dust on coal and sand. Dust on coal and sand. Dust on coal and sand. You would call me sweet names, and I would hold you tight. You know why I lose it, and I know why you're quiet. Love has turned to ether, a rock into a chair. Right behind the silence, we are no longer there. No sky. And dead in between, well, there's a camel and a needle and an The moon has shone upon me, the dawn has called my name. Nowhere's become boundless, and heaven knows I'm to blame. I still move like quicksilver, like lightning in the middle of the night. What I've left behind me has given me second sight. Oh, second sight. Yeah, second sight. In the land of sorrow lies the key to bliss and despair. In the land of happiness, there's a knife floating in the air. Within tomorrow, find a deep blue velvet sky. And dead in between, oh, there's a camel, there's a needle, and an Thanks. Hey, we're gonna play Angel for you. Here we go, sit down, reconnect the steps, the ladder that is led to here. Shadows fall softly as they move through the hall. The wind blows through another year. Oh, angel, are you here? It was you that I saw in my dreams so long ago. Oh, I was 16 in my mother's home. You were in the future, you were 10 years away. Oh, I could feel you, how I loved you, I was shown. An angel showed me water and the stone. You got worried and you broke down. Your two-step turned to three steps and you fell. And it seemed for years that you were lying on the ground, but I was with you in that holding cell. I am your angel, know me well. For every tear and every lonely lie stands a deep fear, shaking in the cold. The hollow bones of winter turn colors in the spring. When the night falls on your love, you best let it stone. It's in the thunder, love takes form. You could choose the dark sky, walk along the dark road, the landscape all blackness and surreal. Should you choose the blue sky, walk along the bright road, they will guide you, fly beside you, turn the wheel. Find your angel, make a deal. your girl, she is your lady, and your queen, she is your diamond. You are her king. She lays a red rose on the altar of her love. For you, she'd do anything. You called her angel, she wears your ring. For every tear and every lonely, lonely life stands a deep bear, shaking in the cold. The hollow bones of winter turn colors in the spring. When the night falls on your love, you best let it stone. It's in the thunder, love takes form. The gathering of angels in the streets and in the towns, in the cities, in the valleys, in the fields. They place the cold love that has fallen to the ground in their wings, that it may heal. Thank you, angel. Thank you, angel. You are my angel. All right. What do you say we play Lillian? All right, then. It's been great to be in Michigan. This is my second time through here, and I tell you, I've seen more wildlife coming through Michigan in the last 4 days, going up to Traverse City and down by Three Rivers, and in Kalamazoo. I've seen everything from wild foxes to bobcats, flying wild turkeys. It's been pretty incredible. So who knows that you had a corner on the wildlife up here in Michigan. Lily Ann, the tide is rising. Lily Ann, maybe 1, 2, 3. North Carolina, well, I have found you with your heart upon your sleeve, with your heart upon your sleeve. Hear the call out in the distance. Yeah, the song that fills the air. Listen closely, it's true love singing. Answer clear, if you hear. Oh, answer dear. See you travel over high mountains. Yeah, you wander valleys soft and low. Oh, the cities you have forsaken, who will hold you in your home? Who will hold you in your home? Lily Ann, the levee's brimming with the tears filling your eyes. Well, I have told you I will be here, for my heart always on your side. Love this heart, I cannot hide, baby, my heart, I cannot hide. The song Gandy Dancer was written a few years ago up in Plumas County. And what happened is I woke up early one morning and went over to get my coffee. It was really early, and about 7:30 is early for me. And I walk into this cafe, and there's a man in there named Eugene, who I didn't know at the time, but who was a man in the corner of the coffee shop who was about 90 years old. He had suspenders on and a white pressed cowboy shirt and some overalls. And he was in the corner looking at a paper, just yelling to himself, "I can't believe it. I just can't believe it." He's talking to himself. And so it was early enough that I was kind of startled and intrigued. So I grabbed my coffee and went over and sat down by him and asked him what he was talking about. And he basically... he started said, "Well, I'm talking about politics." And I was like, "Well, I don't really want to address politics with you." So he said, "Well, fine. Well, what you drinking?" I said, "Well, I'm drinking a latte." He said, "Well, not anymore." He pulls out a flask and he spikes the coffee that I'm drinking at 7:30, what's it, in the morning. And so I decided, what do you do when a 90-year-old man does that to you? You basically sit down and listen to what he has to say. So I listened to his stories, and it turns out he was a Gandy dancer who built the Northwest lines in through Washington, Oregon, California on the rails. And they used a tool called the Gandy tool and worked in teams of men to push the rails into place. And now it's all mechanized. So in light of him and language that was being lost because of machines and stuff, I wrote a song for Eugene. It goes exactly like this. Gandy dancer, take me on down the line. Work them rails, boys, work until the end of time. Steel on steel, your back is in the sun. Driving spikes until the day is done. Outside rolls unto the midnight sun. Gandy dancer, tell me what do you owe? The boss who hired you to a secret that you hold. Jump a car when the summer grass is high. Manifest, roll straight up to the sky. Steel on wood became your wings to fly. Gandy dancer, you built twin ribbons of steel. The captain on you 'cause the train is drawing near. Chants and hammers flying in the air. 45 tons of load she'll have to bear. 7 engines will take you in air. 7 engines will take you in air. Take you in air. Take you in air. Gandy dancer, take me on down the line. Work them rails, boys, work until the end I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling around the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging out. When I hear that whistle blow on down to San Antone. When I was just a young one, my mama told me, hon, always be a good girl. Don't you ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blow, I hang my head and I Candy dancer, take me on down the line. Work them rails, boys, work them till the end of time. Ooh.
Welcome to Bluegrass on Stage. We're so fortunate today to have Corinne West from the San Francisco area on the show with us. Welcome to Michigan, Corinne.
Thank you.
You mentioned you were down in more southern Michigan these past few days.
Yep, we've been down toward Three Rivers.
Three Rivers, and then you went up north to the Traverse City area.
We did. It was my first time up there. It was incredible. Everybody told me on the shows leading up to that Traverse City is just amazingly beautiful. I guess they call it the Little San Francisco, and it was stunning. I got to take a run all along the lake. It was really neat.
It's very beautiful up there. It's one of Michigan's greatest brags, I think, our shoreline.
Pretty sweet.
Yes, it is. So I have recently come to know you through some other musicians, and I'm just so impressed with your music. You do a lot of your own writing?
Almost everything is original, yeah.
And so take me back. Where did you start with your music?
It's hard to say. You mean in performing?
Well, just where'd you start? You know, as a kid, what piqued your interest in writing and singing? Were you one of those little kids that had the hairbrush and sang in the mirror?
Right. I think it's my mom's fault in that she always sang lullabies to me when I was growing up every night, and I think I was probably demanding about it at some point because I couldn't fall asleep when she was singing to me, and those songs tend to be stories, and so I think getting into this particular kind of music, it's steeped in stories, and so it must have happened when I was really small, and then I was musical as a child in that I was always singing. My mom recently handed me a tape of me sitting with my grandfather, and he had pressed a recorder, and I'm just making up songs one after the other, which I think a lot of kids do, but it kind of showed me that I've been singing for quite a while. Whether it was just kind of to myself or in the shower or to my grandpa, it's been going on.
Now, California, what's the music scene in California right now?
It's really diverse. I mean, it's extremely diverse. You've got, right now I'm living in the San Francisco area, and you've got, I mean, everything, all the way from blues to, pardon me, a really strong underground scene. There are a lot of alt country bands coming out of there, but I spend most of my time not performing in California. So when I come home, it's just it's a treat. But there is definitely a lot of appreciation for this particular kind of music there.
Now, you mentioned earlier that you were actually raised in the Los Angeles area and kind of moved up.
Yep, Los Angeles County, and I left home very early and traveled across America on a school bus, actually. And
did you say school bus?
I did. I was traveling with someone who had converted a school bus, so we had a potbelly stove on there, and there was a hammock in the back. And I was young and idealistic, and so I was following some dreams at that point. And I did have my guitar with me, so I would busk occasionally. But after that, after coming back to California, I lived in the mountain towns all over the state since then, and just recently moved to San Francisco.
Now, when you say you traveled throughout America, does that traveling reflect in your music? I mean, did you pick? You must have picked up just a lot of music and heard and seen a lot during that time.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I was exposed to a lot of different environments at a really at a pretty young age, and I think that type of wind in my sails it makes sense for what I'm doing right now. It's just because it's still very much on the move.
When did you decide to go pro? You know,
well,
let's make some money at this.
Right. Well, what happened is I had played in a number of bands. I played in like an a cappella Celtic band, and I played in kind of more of a rock and roll band, and an alternative blues band, but they were all really short projects. And what happened is that when the bands would break up, all the momentum from trying to get yourself a little bit established would all disappear. And so I got really tired of that, and I figured that the only way that I could do this and not have to deal with bands breaking up and starting from scratch every time was just to start writing my own material. So I started writing probably around 5 years ago, really seriously, and then made my first album, Bound for the Living, released that in 2004. And so, if I quit on me. It's totally different, so that's good. Yeah.
Great. You mentioned too that you will be leaving for Europe shortly?
Yes. Well, this run has taken me from Ohio and Michigan. We have a couple more shows, and then on Monday I leave for London, and I will tour around England for about 3 weeks, and then I fly over to Ireland, and we'll tour Belfast area and Dublin, and then I come home and get ready to release my second album.
How exciting is that?
It's really exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned too, and I find this kind of interesting because most bands follow the circuit as a full band, but your posse, which you call your backup, you pretty much pick up on the road.
I do. I have, at this point, I have pockets of players in different regions, like on the East Coast and in the Midwest and on the West Coast that I've been, and it's starting to happen in the UK as well. But when I first started doing this, I was extremely expensive to take a band out and tour them across the country. And like for instance, last year I did about 170 dates, and so to bring people in that environment for that long is extremely expensive. So I realized that what I could do is find kind of the best players in each region and form relationships with them and have them get to know my music. And so now when I tour with different people all across the country. The festivals that I do, the lineup usually changes quite a bit. And I know that'll change. At some point I'll have a permanent band, but for right now it's working out, and it's always a big schooling process for me, that's for sure.
Great.
Yeah.
How do you feel about being on the road? It's not an easy life.
It's not, but like I said, since I left home so early and I was living in that really mobile environment, there's something, there's something in it that comes natural to me.
It's in the blood, you're a little gypsy.
Yeah, that's right, that's
Yeah.
it. There's something that I get hungry for it if I'm not moving around.
I understand that you've got a new record in works. Let's hear about that.
I do. I was fortunate enough to connect with Mike Marshall. He produced the album. The album's called Second Sight, and we are putting it out this fall. It's coming up. All the recording's done, and we're finishing up the artwork, and there's an amazing group of musicians on there. It just came together. It came together pretty magically. There was so Mike plays mandolin. We have Todd Phillips on the bass and Jerry Douglas on the dobro, Tony Furtado on the banjo. There's just a number of really good musicians on there.
You've got some really big names going on here.
Yeah, I know. Somehow I got the gentleman of the genre to come and kick down for the record, so I can't wait to share it. You can find us through corinnesmusic.com, and I'm going to spell my name because it's difficult. It's CORINNES.com, corinnesmusic.com, and then we have a MySpace page and that sort of thing, which I found is, I was really hesitant to get involved with that, but I found I've made some really neat friends out of that, and found some good players through that, and been exposed to some excellent music. So.
Oh, MySpace is a real big tool. It's actually a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. It's a lot of fun though once you get in there and you start to meet people, and then you end up in a town and you know that you just met through this kind of bizarre thing through the internet. It's pretty spectacular.
Hey, who do you like? Who's like some of your favorite?
Oh, let's see. I was just thinking about that the other day. I mean, it's a wide span from Elton John to Judy Garland to Eva Cassidy to, Sinead O'Connor, all the way down to bands like LA bands, Concrete Blonde, and then skip over here and you get into Ricky Skaggs and very traditional bluegrass players, Rhonda Vincent. So it's really all over the board. I have really eclectic taste, but
I guess you do.
I do.
But that's good. That's good. I do too. I do too. What's one of the highlights of your career so far?
That's a good question. One of the highlights, I opened up for Dwight Yoakam last year, and that was really fun. That was great. That was a great opportunity to be able to perform with somebody that I really admire.
Have you ever been on the Opry?
Not yet.
Yeah. But you've played Nashville?
Yes, I've played Nashville. In fact, I was just through there earlier this year. Played Memphis and Nashville, but not yet. I got my sights set on it though.
Great.
We're going to play a traditional tune for you at this point. We'll play a song called Lonesome River. Waters rose high on the river at midnight. I sit on the shore, grieve and cry. Woman I love, she left me this morning. Don't want to kiss me goodnight. Sit here alone by the banks of the river. Lonesome wind blows, the waters roll high. Hear a voice calling out there in the darkness. Sit here alone, too lonesome to cry. Waters rose high on the river at midnight. I sit on the shore, grieve and cry. Woman I love, she left me this morning. No one to hold or kiss me goodnight. There one night by the banks of the river, we stood holding making our vows, swore we'd never part, we'd live happy forever. What a new love she's found, she's gone from me now. Waters rose high on the river at midnight. I sit on the shore to grieve and to cry. Woman I love, she left me this morning with no one to hold. Oh, kiss me goodnight with no one to hold. Oh, kiss me good night.
So, Corinne, introduce the band to us.
You bet. On my right is Miss Tisha Simeral.
Hello.
And Brian Ashley Jones over there on the guitar.
Great, you guys did a wonderful job. Tish, we'll start
Thank
with
you.
you. What is your history of music? You say you live in Nashville.
I do. I live in Nashville now. I've lived there for about 3 years, and I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio. And I went to school there at Ohio State and played clarinet and all kinds of different instruments all my life, and became a professional musician about 15 years ago.
Oh, you did? What brought you to the bass fiddle? I mean, you don't often see girls on upright bass.
Right. Well, I always liked popular music, and I wanted to play more of that, and there wasn't much use for clarinet, so I switched to bass.
Smart move. Now, down in Nashville, did you move down there due to the music business?
Yes, I went to Nashville for music, just to play freelance, and that's where I met Brian. So.
Okay, Brian, let's hear it. You've been a professional musician for a while now.
About 15 years too, roughly. About the same as Tisha. I grew up in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Marshall Tucker Band was from there, and that's about one of the few artists I could think of from that area that was a big inspiration. But grew up there, wound up in the Atlanta, Georgia music scene for quite a while, and eventually I wound up in Nashville. I've been there about 5 years now. Roughly.
And what do you do there? Do you like freelance?
Well, Tisha and I play together. We also go out and work for other artists. We love it when Corinne calls, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do occasionally do some studio work, when we're around. We probably turn away more than we can actually do because we're gone so much. But that's fun too, nice change of pace.
Right.
Once in a while. So I'm busy writing songs when I have time with some different people there in town. And, every day is different, so.
Do you write too, Trish?
I don't write songs, no. I've done some arranging and some composition, like for big band and orchestra, strings, that sort of thing, but no songwriting so far. But I'm kind of getting bit by the bug being in Nashville.
Oh, sure.
You never know.
Yeah. Okay, now you have a CD out.
I do.
Tell us about your CD.
I've got one CD out to date, and that's Come Out and Play, Exhibit A. And that one was produced in Macon, Georgia by a guy named Paul Hornsby. And we're in the process, actually, of finishing up another one. Seem to record in Atlanta, or the Georgia area a lot for some reason, but we're doing the new one in Atlanta. It's being produced by a guy named Mark Van Allen.
Okay.
Who's an excellent dobro player and plays pedal steel too. Mainly doing dobro with our new acoustic project. So.
And you're on this project?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you mentioned earlier to me about your new disc that you've got more of a country feel to this?
Actually, this one is more of a country roots rock, bluesy kind of Americana stew pot of genres. The newest thing we're working on is going to be pretty well in the bluegrass vein. There'll be no drums or electric instruments of any kind. Just my acoustic guitar, Tisha on upright bass, and Mark Van Allen on dobro.
Oh,
and
great.
then, of course, the vocals with some harmony parts as well. So, kind of moving more in the rootsy direction.
I see. Tish, do you have a family history with music, brothers or sisters or parents?
Well, my mom and dad both love music, and Mom, you know, she played trumpet in the school band, and all her family, pretty much everybody played piano, and then they played clarinet, which kind of got passed around to all of us, you know, the same instrument down from generation to generation. And Dad, he loved music and always has played, you know, a lot of different things, you know, listened to music, but he told me recently that he actually wanted to play the bass, which I never knew until he mentioned that.
Interesting.
But he never did. So.
Interesting. Corinne, how did you come about meeting these?
Well, I met Brian in Austin 2 years ago, I guess it was. Year and a half, perhaps.
About a year and a half.
Is that right? Year and a half ago. And at that point, I had heard his playing, and he was playing with another woman, and I heard his guitar and thought it was incredible, and then didn't see him for a while. We said hi briefly at a convention, so it was really busy. And then we met again over in Georgia, and then I knew I was coming through his area, and I called him up for this tour, and it turns out that he said, well, you have to have Tisha. She's great. She's on stand-up bass. She's amazing, and we've been working together, and so it kind of came together like that.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. How about you? You know, I asked about the family histories. A lot, I find most bluegrass bands started with a family band.
Well, mine was not really that case, but there was a lot of music. My mom played piano, sang. Father played instruments. My uncle played. As a matter of fact, that was my uncle's guitar I was playing today.
Really?
Originally, it was his.
Now, when you were younger, did you envision yourself doing music?
Well, I really was more into sports initially.
Oh, you were a jock?
I was kind of torn between the sports and music, I think. And, you know, eventually music won out.
Sports as in what?
Soccer and baseball.
Really?
Was what I was really interested in. Soccer more as time went on. I was better at it.
So Tish, do you have a website?
I do. It's my name, which is impossible to spell, but it's TishaSimeral.com.
You might want to spell that.
Yeah, TISHASIMERAL.com.
And Brian, tell us your web and give us some info on yourself.
Well, it's BrianAshleyJones.com. And that's Brian with an I, BrianAshleyJones.com. And more info on myself. Wow. Singer-songwriter, you know, and occasionally a side man. We're hoping to do another tour with Corinne in the fall, hopefully.
Yay.
Well, I'll put my 2 cents in that I'm just really enjoying this tour with these ladies, the 3-part harmonies we're doing, and you know, just the different interaction musically and personally. You know, we're doing our best to annoy each other in the car. And I think I'm winning.
He thinks he's winning. That means we're really winning.
Brian looks at us when we first started the tour. He looks at us. He's like, "Wait a second." He said, "I'm completely. The odds are not in my favor." So we try to irritate him with special things like what we should wear and how this perfume smells. So Brian's been a great support. It's been awesome touring with these two, and I know that they're focused on their project. But as much as I can peel them out of Nashville to be able to do some touring, I'm hoping that they can join us. But it's been really fun. Yeah.
Great.
Various points of the tour, I've tried to corral a male off just so I can talk about sports for a few minutes.
Just stats on anything. Just numbers for a second.
So I might pin Lair's ear down there later.
Hey, that's fine. Do it. Do it.
No, we're having a blast.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks
good to
so
hear.
much for having us on the
No,
show.
I'm just glad you're here.
Well, thanks very much, folks, for having us on Bluegrass on Stage this afternoon. It's been a joy to be in Michigan. I'd like to introduce these fine players that are with me out of Nashville, Tennessee. Over on my right is Mr. Brian Ashley Jones on that guitar over there. And on my left is Miss Tisha Simeral on the stand-up bass. And I'm lucky enough to have been able to do this run of shows with them through Ohio and Michigan. And if you care to find out where we're going to be, if we're going to be heading towards a town near you, I know we'll be back soon in this area, but the website is corinnesmusic.com. It's CORINNES music.com. And we thank very much Bluegrass on Stage for having us this afternoon. And take care. Thanks for listening. One more? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Driving down Highway 49, singing songs helps pass the time. steady. There's road work ahead. There's road work ahead. There's road work ahead. Slow the truck for road work ahead. Just when I'm feeling fine, makes me wanna lose my mind. See that sign for road work ahead. Well, my Lord, how long will it be? Sitting here, that sign in front of me. Guess I better check the tires and lift the hood. Look out my wire, see if it's my battery that's dead. There's road work ahead, there's road work ahead. Slow the truck for road work ahead. Just when I'm feeling fine, makes me wanna lose my mind. See that sign for road work ahead. There ain't nothing like the highway when it's smooth. Fly along at low altitude, moving like a bird. It's the moment I prefer. See that sign for road work ahead. There's road work ahead. There's road work ahead. Slow the truck for road work ahead. Just when I'm feeling fine, makes me wanna lose my mind. See that sign for road work ahead. You wanna patch the holes in the road with top. How they paint the lines, you can see where you are. Build a tunnel through some rock, clear path that you can walk, get ready. Be a road work ahead. There's road work ahead. Baby, there's road work ahead. Slow job for road work ahead. Just when I'm feeling fine, makes me wanna lose my mind. See that sign for road work ahead. Just when I'm feeling fine, and it makes me wanna lose my mind. See that sign for road work ahead. Thanks for having us.
Bluegrass on Stage would like to thank Chili's Grill and Bar, 54th Street, Wyoming. They fed the hungry crew and staff. It's Chili's. Eat right.